Hi everybody, it's Kathy from Huckleberry Herbs and Art. Hi to all the crafters out there. Been watching all your videos and enjoying them, and I did manage to put together a project or two myself, even though it was the first 2 weeks of school and I've been really busy. So what I have laid out here are a couple of the items that I used on the project. So one of them is going to have a bit of this rose-toned ribbon, and I am trying hard to build up my Etsy shop, so I'm using some of the things that I might be putting in there. I have this applique, and it's really pretty. I like that the flower and leaves are very defined. It's got that nice shiny look about it, and the adornments on the edges are beautiful. So I used this on both of the items that I'm going to show you. You might recognize this lace. I see a lot of projects with it, and that's because it's excellent. The dangles are wonderful, and the flowers fill up space and can be cut. And I have a little bit of old lace, literally old. I did find this at what they would call a flea market. These don't have very appealing names, flea markets, and I don't know, in the UK they call it car boot haul. I'd love to know what the origin of that name is, if anybody knows it and wants to share. Now another thing is, I've been trying to build up in my Etsy shop you know, products that are already made for people who don't do things like this, to buy as gifts and things. And it's very in right now in the wedding rustic style to have burlap mixed with lace, which I was shocked when I went back to crafting to say, burlap, okay, that is the stuff that I have covered in dirt and other shall go unnamed items in my garden, because I'm a big gardener, and Huckleberry Herbs is sort of a blending of my love for nature in the garden and my love for lace and sparkle. And I thought to myself, well, don't fight it, because that's perfect. So we're mixing burlap with lace, and it's very expensive, this trim, at least in some cases. So I decided to give a hand at making my own trim. And so I've cut the burlap into strips, and it is difficult to work with, as I expected it to be, because it just unravels, but you know, shabby, that's good. So I used a zigzag stitch along the edge of this daisy trim that I just keep finding myself using over and over. It's just perfect for so many things. And put it on both sides. And I think I might start selling a few pieces of this in my Etsy shop as soon as I get some time to do some more cuts and sew those up. So I have this, and this is just another version of that. I've been playing around with the idea and seeing what I can come up with for samples. And you can actually see I zigzag stitched twice on that one, because I just didn't trust the burlap to hold on to the lace. Well, having said that, my first project, if I back out a little bit here, is a wedding ring bearer pillow. And I have done it in that white brocade satin that I have and love. It's gorgeous. There at the top, hand stitched, everything made from scratch except for the applique. And I did not make these, although I am starting to get into that a little bit. And I didn't make the tassels or weave the material myself. But the pillow was from scratch, and then I hand stitched on the applique. I took some nice white satin, it's about 1.5 inches wide white satin ribbon, and made a bow. And it also has this thinner ribbon that has those little loops on the edges so that you can tie and untie that to put the rings on. And I have included tassels that hang from all four corners. and I have let the ribbon hang down in the direction that would be against the ring bearer. And of course, I have this lovely little rhinestone crystal button, which I did sew through to the back and put, and this is vintage, this is very old, this is from my grandmother's button box, and it seems to me to be real mother of pearl button. So I do have this in my Etsy shop because I am trying to set up a little bridal boutique. I love doing bridal things. I love doing really pretty beautiful satiny and lacy and all those kinds of things, projects, and I don't have an abundance of girls in my family or anything to give items to, so you end up doing a little bit for weddings, and I'm enjoying that. So that's my first project share, and then I'm going to take you up to show you what else I've been working on. I might need to move the camera around so that I can actually get the full shot of things in here. But that is my new Shabby Chic. Yeah, I'm going to pull back here with the camera, so bear with me if things go fluky for a second. And it does have a long string of faux pearls on it because I wanted to be able to wear this crossbody. So you might recognize this is the fabric, which it's only 5 5/8 wide, I think, that I found on my trip to Rockport, and I had gotten a whole roll of it. Looks like it was cut off the top of a bolt in the upholstery or curtain making industry, and they didn't need that portion of the bolt, and so I had found the top of the bolt, and I have placed yardage of this in my Etsy shop because I do have a good amount of it. But in the meantime, I decided that I would make some small bags to get started with it. So I spent a lot of time cutting my pieces, you know, and that's basically how wide it is and what the material was like when I started. And I did include cutting all my parts for some lining, which is just material I had in my stash, and it somewhat matched up with the colors that were in the fabric, which is a very light canvasy type material, perfect for a small bag. So I started with that panel that I cut, and you know, this is sort of the prototype, so when you're designing, you go through the prototype. There's a lot of try this, change that going on. So I wasn't sure how this thing would look when I started it, but I did begin by putting this across the bottom, and as soon as I got that there, I needed a balance, so I put it across the top. I have also included, and I'll see if I can get a little closer there, I've also included a nice little bridal applique in the left hand, almost completely in the corner. I made a lace, a little bit of my pink satin flower, and this maroonish organza shabby chic flower with another one of those beautiful rhinestone crystal buttons. And then I put a little piece, just cut out one of the dangle laces, and I put that at the top. On the inside, I did want, when I opened this, to not be bored. I mean, what the heck? Why not, right? So here I have placed the lace and burlap, and I put that strip all the way across the front and in the back. So I just wrapped the entire bag with it. And at the top here, you can see there's that applique, and I did cut off a little bit of the extra edging to get it to fit just inside. And then I sewed a pearl strand to the inside, placed the lining in there, and on the edges I have some lovely shabby ribbons and some of that lace that I showed you. There's the lovely rose tone ribbon, a little dangle pearl, and I sewed those all together and then sort of sealed them with one of the flowers, which I sewed around the edge to strap the ribbon to the edge. An interesting thing, as you're designing something like this, you change your mind and then say, okay, I really want to sew something on a completed piece, which means my threads are going to show. And I had white threads poking up depending on what I had decided to add at the moment at the wrong time, choice of time. So I had seen people using their alcohol ink pens and things like that, their brush type pens, to change the color of ribbon, satin ribbon, and when they're doing embroidery. And all those little threads, I don't even know if you can see them anymore because it really worked very well. The little white threads that were bothering me, I just touched with my brushables. I have a set of brushables and just happened to have a color that pretty much matched the lining. So you can't see all my handiwork when I'm going to add this, I'm going to do that, flipped over. I also just topped off the very top of the closure with a little rose bow that I made, and I'm looking forward to using this and wearing this. So that's it. Those are my project shares, and I will be adding some of these things to my Etsy shop. I hope that the pillow is already there for sale, and I hope to make many more of these bags and include them. I hope to be putting some of my homemade burlap and Venetian lace trim, and I'll probably be adding some of those appliques. I put this upside down, so there we go. Alright, well, I'll be back with my seriously scrapping Egyptian card soon, tag, for the tag hop. It's a very interesting topic. I've been dabbling with all kinds of ideas and jumping around the internet, looking at images, trying to get ideas. I do think this is a true challenge. I like it. And apparently there's going to be gold involved. I would imagine there would have to be if you're going to talk Egyptian. So I hope to finish my tag soon and be back and be able to share something else with you. In the meantime, Dwillis, hang in there. And thank you to all of my subscribers, and I hope I'm back soon and that you are all blessed with health. God bless everybody.